И снова здравствуйте, мои уважаемые зрители.
Hello again, my dear viewers. In the yard we have the 19th of April, and another traditional review of events at the fronts. What's happening? I won't pay much attention to the northern flank. I have already said earlier that there was a blow to the village of Golovchino, Belgorod region. We are waiting for the results. Let's wait for the reaction that, in fact, Moscow promised in the event of a recurrence of such incidents. Perhaps this result will be tonight. The main events are unfolding in the Barvenkovo area, even closer to the Balaklaya area. Because Balaklaya, too, as my spectators write to me, very intensive artillery training. The units of resistance of the Ukrainian troops are suppressed. That is, a very serious artillery preparation in the Gusarovka area. The locals know that this is the most important settlement. Without taking it, it is fundamentally impossible to go further in this direction. Here, too, there is a very serious artillery preparation. Aviation is working. Further south, through Balaklaya, south of Izyum, it all rumbles. The shelling does not stop even for a minute, and they go further south, to the area of Lyman. And here, in fact, today there were big advances, namely, infantry units. Let me tell you a little secret, this line, in the area of Lyman, I always drew conditionally. However, she wasn't quite like that. And by the end of today, it has acquired exactly the form that it really is. Plus or minus, maybe with a few exceptions. Thus, for today, the left flank of the Izyum group of Russian troops, which should advance around Slavyansk and Kramatorsk, he is now fully secured. And in the next day or two, I suppose, there may be an assault on Lyman, Yapol, and a further exit of Russian troops, and troops of the Luhansk People's Republic, to the line of the Siversky Donets. And in this way, they will approach Slavyansk, already at a distance of an artillery shot. And also, as I said earlier, I assume that the main offensive of the Russian troops will go through Barvenkovo, and even a little east of Barvenkovo. But not along the main Izyum road. That is, from Izyum to Slavyansk. Because it is very inconvenient to step there. Completely open area. And most importantly, Mount Karachun. She will be in the rear of Slavyansk. Thus, relying on Mount Karachun, the armed forces of Ukraine can quite successfully resist the advance of Russian troops. And if you go around this position from the west and strike from this direction, and take Mount Karachun first of all, then the enemy's Kramatorsk Slavic grouping can be deprived of their main trump card. I think that the direction of the main blow should be about here. Moreover, the armed forces of Ukraine also believe that everything is exactly so. And according to the data that my viewers report, they are saturating the defense not even in Barvenkovo, but behind Barvenkovo. Realizing that they will not be able to oppose anything for a long time to the serious barrage of fire that is literally rolling on them in this area today. And the Russian artillery and aviation literally grind the Ukrainian troops in their positions and slowly but surely move forward. Moreover, exactly the same fate will befall the Lysychansk Ukrainian group. Because for the past 3 days in the Popasnaya area, Russian troops, including those, have been hitting with Iskander complexes. Aviation is working. There was also a message that heavy Russian long-range aviation also worked in this area. This is Tu-22M3. And yet, cruise missiles, conventional frontline aviation fly there, and all this is processed by conventional cannon artillery and hail. That is, the most powerful artillery preparation for the offensive is underway. The main goal, which is to immediately cut off the Lysychansk Ukrainian grouping from the rest of the forces, and thus block these 3 settlements. Separately clean them up and destroy the troops located there. and also, according to the same scheme, judging by what I see throughout the day and last night. Serious artillery strikes began at about 23 o'clock Kiev time, in Minsk, in Moscow. It is also expected on the entire Donbas front. Most likely, the intention is to immediately cut the Ukrainian grouping into several parts: Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Lysychansk. In the area of Svetlodarsk, Bakhmutavo. The next one is Avdiivka, and possibly Konstantinovka, Trzakovka. And it must all be cut into pieces and destroyed. Moreover, taking into account the tactics that the Russian troops are using today, I would not expect it to be fast. Most likely, it will be thorough, slow, but reliable, minimizing your losses. Thus, the second phase of the fighting in Ukraine will be very different from the first, because the goal that is set today for the Russian troops is completely different from the one that was at the very beginning of the war. This is approximately what is happening now in the Donbas. Also 2 words, literally, about what is happening in Mariupol and in Nikolaev. In Mariupol, in general, there is a sweep. Refugees, as we found out, are not there by the evening. There are no children there, there is nothing there. It was all a production that was filmed either in Kiev or in Lvov. However, Russian troops provided a humanitarian corridor for all those who wanted to get out, and starting from 16 o'clock, they began to iron this area, including with artillery and heavy aircraft. Another very remarkable news came from Nikolaev tonight. Local residents report seeing anti-personnel and anti-tank mines being laid on bridges across the city. And this suggests that, of course, the Nikolaev garrison does not think about any attack on Kherson. On the contrary, they are very much afraid that Russia might strike here. This is approximately what I can say on the basis of April 19, 2022. The next release is scheduled for tomorrow morning. Goodbye.
Следующий выпуск планируется уже завтра утром. До свидания.